Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today we're looking at a wacky rogue. It's Quagsire like you've never seen it before. It's Celebi Venusaur like you've never seen it before. This is trying to bring back Aromatisse in 2019 using some of these big tag team GXs to tank hits and then have the combination of Washout as well as Thunderclap Zone in order to free retreat out of an attacker, wash out to a new target, and max potion to heal up the guy on the bench. That's the whole premise of the deck, trying to undo damage, have these tanking Pokemon in Magikarp and Celebi and Venusaur, as well as have some type coverage from the Zygarde to help out against Zoroark, one of our hardest matchups by far. But yeah, it's trying to take advantage of Articuno, protecting our early engine of Quagsire, also being able to protect energy safely on things like Magikarp and Wailord as well, giving yourself some early pressure at the same time, setting up damage for Super Splashes, as well as Solar Beams. Obviously, we have Unit and Rainbow Energies in here to try and get rolling with these attackers. And yeah, it's a really fun build. It's very rogue and definitely more on the fun scale than the competitive scale. But so far, I've only ever lost to Zoroark with this deck. So it has some potential behind it. And Articuno just saying no to things sometimes is very, very strong. And there are plenty of decks that just simply can't reach on Magikarp and Wailord and on Celebi and Venusaur. That's just how it is. The hit points is too high, and when you get into this nice combination of Quagsire, Zeraora, and you can get a couple of max potions off, it's going to be insane for you. So that's the idea. Definitely a creative one, definitely a lot of fun, and we'll show it off today. So first off, we have Articuno. Blizzard Veil is that ability that helps protect our water Pokemon when this is active from supporter cards, so your opponent can't use Guzmas. They also can't use Plumeria as well, so this gives us a good out against some mill decks, actually. We don't have the energy acceleration of a Naga Quag to always have infinite energy, but at least we do have this little ability to help us out in early stages at least. Cold Cyclone has 70 damage on it for 2 water. Moving 2 energy from this to one of your bench. This is how we protect our energy and build up to a big board, because we're using Articuno early, washing out to it, and then just moving energy back to the bench so that even if these are getting knocked out, the opponent literally only takes 1 prize and, you know, our board state isn't changing much at all. So this is a really nice early game card to help protect mostly Woopers and our Quagsire engine while we build into our main attackers. That's the whole premise of the list. From there, we have a 3-3 line of Quag. Quagsire with that washout ability is central to the deck. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a water from one of your bench Pokemon to your active, and Hydro Pump offers a nice option when we do Snowball with energy attachments. We can do 60 plus 20 for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. And yeah, this washout ability, as I said, is integral. It's our fake Aromatisse that we have here. By combining it with Zeraora, we can essentially move into a new attacker, wash out to a new target, and max potion the bench. Not quite as fluid as Aromatisse, because Aromatisse can literally take it all back off, max potion all back on. Here is a bit more resource intensive on our own bench, because we need to have Zeraora in play, we need to have a Rainbow Energy in play, and we need to have a backup attacker ready to go. So it is asking for more. It's a little bit more demanding overall. But at the same time, this ability is still very strong, and it does have a nice cleanup attacking option available as well. Also worth noting that it's Aqua Patchable. Obviously the Articunos are, but oftentimes they're sat in the active. Quagsire can be Aqua Patched onto for our only real energy acceleration in the deck, outside of like retaining them with Cold Cyclone. So it's just important that he's a water type himself. That's also very helpful. So onto our sort of package of attackers. The Zeraora, I've already mentioned his ability as integral to do that max potion combo play. Obviously, this is a basic ability. This is one of the reasons why Zoroark is so bad for us. Zoroark's that bad for a number of reasons. The first is they can muck your Articuno. They can also use Lycanroc to get around Articuno. But they also have weakness on Zeraora with their Lycanroc-GX. And Lycanroc can also do big one-hit KOs through some of our tag teams with the help of like Choice Band and Konkui and stuff. So overall, Zoroark, big no-no. We really don't like seeing that deck. But against everything else, this ability really helps us get this max potion combo working. We also have the Plasma Fists option available. We are playing 1 copy of Choice Band, so this can push into 1-hits on basic GXs if we happen to put it onto this guy. And yeah, worth noting. Overall, it's so that we can do this free retreat washout combo that we're trying to build towards. From there, we have the Water Tag Team in Magikarp and Wailord. Obviously has the highest base hit points in 300, which is huge. It offers the Super Splash attack for 5 energy to do 180. Again, Choice Band in here pushes this to 210, which is a really big deal against Zoroark players. I think with this, as well as the Zygarde, you do have some sort of an out to trying to beat them. And Towering Splash is intensely powerful against the likes of Malamar builds, and also pretty reasonable against Zapdos as well. If they do put down a number of Jirachi, you can attach those 8 energy onto him, and you do 100 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Do note that we are not playing the Volcanion Prism Star on the list, so it's not quite as strong as the regular Naga Quags are, because you don't have that early sort of like clear up option of setting up higher hit point basics. So this is mostly in here to help out against Mali, whilst also being just a reasonable high hit point Pokemon that we can move in and out of. Also having a different weakness to our other tank, which is Celebi and Venusaur Tag Team GX. 270 hit points on this guy is still very, very chunky and difficult to get through. It has 3 attacks. Pollen Hazard for Grass, Colorless does 50. Your opponent's active is now burned, confused, and poisoned. Very, very awkward for them. Oftentimes they're going to have to retreat and move out the way or gust around other things, which is going to be very good for you. Solar Beam does a solid 150, obviously 180 with that one Choice Band. It's pretty much our A-spec of the deck is that one Choice Band, but because we have Bill's Analysis, we can try and dig that out at times as well. And we have this Evergreen GX attack, which is amazing. Heal all damage from this Pokemon, which is already a huge text. And if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra grass attached to it, shuffle all cards from your discard pile into your deck. That means you can recycle your Max Potions. It means you can recycle your Guzmas, and even recycle like your Pokemon and stuff. So yeah, really, really solid attack. We love it just for the Max Potion effect, but we can also sometimes, you know, reset more Max Potions in the deck to keep that loop rolling if we get into it, which is insane. And again, this hits 180, which is a reasonable one-hit KO option, especially if we are able to dig out that Choice Band. We are having 1 extra sort of bulky Pokemon in here. It's going to be the Zygarde-GX. Really, we're just looking at its second 2 attacks here. Lanzarath can one-hit KO Zoroark. Verdict-GX can also one-hit KO Zoroark, and you prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon GX and EX. So you can sort of safeguard yourself whilst doing a big number. It's pretty good for dealing with like Zoros and Jolteons and Pikaroms and stuff like that. Very, very powerful fighting type to have in here. And it also has a reasonably high benchmark of 200 hit points on a basic. So that's pretty strong. Our last GX is just Tapu Lele to Wonder Tag into to get some early game supporters and all that good stuff. Onto the item cards, we're playing 1 copy of Stretcher to try and recycle some key Pokemon if we need to. Obviously, Articuno is the one we're usually having to cycle the most because that's the one in the line of fire in the early game, but also Quagsires if we have to, or any of our tech Pokemon. And then we have just lots of Ball Search, the 4 Nest and the 4 Ultra to get our guys out whenever we need to. 3 copies of Aqua Patch for our mini energy acceleration. And we also have 3 Max Potions, which, as you know with the Romatis, when you get into that loop, it's just a clutch card for you. You completely undo a ton of damage that your opponent's just trying to put on you. And this is how we get ahead in the game. Then we have 2 copies of Viridian. Obviously has great synergy of binning your water energies so that you can use Aqua Patch. Also has the flexibility of just getting more out each turn, so we guarantee turn attachments, which is also pretty important when we're trying to build towards sometimes 8 energy attacks. And even with this guy, you'd like getting 1-hit KO potential late game as well. Onto the supporter cards. We're playing 3 copies of Guzma to gust up important threats from the opponent's board. And we're actually playing 3 copies of Bill's Analysis. This supporter's really won me over in this archetype because in the early game, it's not the worst option for you in the world. It's finding you Ball Search cards, and that's all you really care about because you want to guarantee yourself Woopers, you want to guarantee yourself Articuno. That's always our early game, no matter what we're up against. That's what we're looking for. And we have 8 Ball Search cards, so we'll often try and find that. And then when you're in mid-game, all you're really looking for is Max Potions and Aqua Patches to push you into the right energy counts and also to have those healing turns. So Bill's is really clutch in this deck, and even stronger when you have Viridian to pull out all your energy cards for you. You improve your odds a lot, and the Bills is going to get some crucial cards like the Max Potion. So I really like the option to have 3 copies of Bills in here. Not guaranteeing stuff, but usually getting like a Max Potion for now and a Cynthia for next turn. Things like that is really solid with the Bill. I really like having a reasonably high count because we are a combo deck at the end of the day. So 3 Bill is a pretty nice number for me, in my opinion. 3 copies of Lillie. I think it's a little weak to have 4. I prefer having 3 Bills to 4 Lillie and 2 Bills, but you can go for that split if you want to. Obviously powerful in the early game, but do bear in mind we are a combo deck, and a lot of those cards we need to hold on to. We need to hold on to Max Potions. We can't be silly with putting down excess Pokemon that we don't want in the right matchup. So oftentimes I found myself that Lillie outside of turn 1 isn't all that strong for us. So we want to be a little lower than normal on this count, but still having, you know, a generous count to find it in the early game and to get use out of it when we have nothing else to do on our turn. 4 Cynthia is nice just for some simple shuffle draw, always going to be powerful for us. 1 Choice Band I've mentioned, it's actually a big card in the deck, and because of the 3 builds that we play, we can find it when we want to, really, or at least hope to do so. It pushes a lot of numbers like the Super Splash, even Evergreen and Solar Beam, and as well as Wooper-GX. So doing all sorts of work here, this 1 copy of Choice Band. It's a nice ace spec to have in the deck. I've also played around with things like Choice Helmet to stay even tankier if you want to. Do note that buff padding does not work because we turn our own retreat cost to 0. I found that out the hard way when I was trying my first edition of this build. Now it's made the changes and Choice Band's in the build. Onto the energy count, 2 copies of unit for serving that grass cost for Celosaur and the water cost for Washout, as well as attacking with for our water dudes. 4 rainbows, obviously the biggest deal because it's going to serve purposes with the Zeraora to free retreat with these max potions. Also can serve energy for our Zygarde. And then we have 7 waters. Basic energies that we can dig out with Forest, attach each turn, and we can Aqua Patch onto as well. So gives us plenty of energy overall. 13, I think, is a very healthy count. And I think that's, yeah, pretty reasonable. So if you want to add in more sort of anti-meta tech Pokemon, you can definitely go for that. There are other Tag Team GXs around that you can try and look for. Is Tag Team actually a thing we can search here? No, it's not. Okay, there's not a way I can do this, is there? Well, there's only Team Up, right? Let's try and find out other Tag Team Pokemon. Basically, you look for big tanks, because we want our stuff to stick around. Even Snorlax can do big numbers against everything that's not Zoroark, or if you've dealt with their Lycanroc, that can be safe. Gengar and Mimikyu, again, not safe against Zoroark, but tanky against other stuff. Not guaranteed damage, though. So yeah, basically you're looking for big tanks. This gets rid of way too many energies to be a good card for us. You're looking for tanky Pokemon. This is unfortunately all lightning energy costed, so it's not going to work too well with our Washout. So these do seem like the biggest tag teams that we can use. Maybe there are some other big basics you can go for extra type coverage, but right now I think the biggest type to hit is fighting, so that's why the Zygarde's been thrown in the list. I think outside of that, these are the best tanks we can go for right now. In terms of like other item cards, you could be looking to add in other tools like the Choice Helmet I've already mentioned for keeping yourself out of range. I think it's particularly important against the likes of Lycanroc GX because we often need to fill up our bench and we can be in range of them if they have Choice Band on their Lycanroc. So we really have to be careful about dealing with Lycanroc against Zoroark. As I said, that's pretty much our hardest matchup by far. Obviously, we're a grass type, so we can try and one-shot them with Solar Beam, but they're usually more proactive than we are because it's hard for us to just find our Guzma on the right turn here and there. Usually they'll be the one having more gusting opportunities and hurting our early game engine, so that's something to bear in mind. But yeah, I think outside of that, that's going to be the build. Let's jump into some games and have some fun with Aromatisse in 2019. This is an archetype that I loved way back when, and I'm excited to try and bring an essence of that deck back to life with this build. Have to stress, more of a fun one than competitive, but boy, is this a fun deck. It's really, really good fun to play with. So if you've got some free time, this is a lot of fun to test out because you can do some kooky plays. There's a lot of wide branching options that you have with this build, and it can really be rewarding when you get that big tank finally online and just swing in. And when you get those turns of Washout into Max Potion, it can be devastating for the opponent. So yeah, definitely a fun deck. I think one of the other things to bear in mind is against like Bucephalon, one of the biggest decks to worry about in terms of trying to be a tanking archetype is that we have water Pokemon, so we can try and just be a non-GX water deck in that matchup. The other sort of one-hit KO deck is obviously Pikarom, but we're hoping that we can tank just by having like 300 hit points. Hopefully it's going to be enough in those early turns to help out against the Pikarom matchups. That's the intention here. I'm staring down an Oranguru so far. Let's see what else our opponent's going to be playing. It looks to be a Charizard deck. Charizard's obviously a reasonable archetype for us to try and take on. With our helpful weakness and with a lot of hit points on our good old Magikarp and Wailord. Oh, one card we could be considering is Gladiator in the deck, just for some key one-offs in prizes, like the Magikarp and Wailord that we're praying isn't in our prize cards. But yeah. Our opponent attaches to Oranguru turn 1. They're actually going to go ahead and grab a Slugma. So they're a Cargo Guru build, rather than a Jirachi-based Charizard. They're going to instruct for 2 cards. And just a pass. That's pretty good for us. Second Articuno is definitely nice. Now all we're really looking for is basic Pokemon. We also have an attachment to boot. Technically, he can one-shot our Articuno if he pays retreat, Candy, Charizard, and Roaring Resolves, which is something to be slightly concerned about, but not so much that we're not going to do anything other than attach to the active. We're going to grab one of our Lilies. We have 2 Woopers in here. Our Magikarp and Wailord actually is prized, which is a bit of a bummer. Let's see how much Ball Search is in here. There was some debate to going for a Bill's Analysis turn 1 here to try and have a better chance of hitting basic Pokemon. But I think this should be fine, because we can try and just main the Articuno early on anyway. A Viridian lets him discard his hand for Instruct, and it lets him... whatchamacallit? Just guarantee an energy to retreat this guy. I think we don't play it, we just pass here. The upside of putting the Viridian in is we could find an energy this turn and then next turn bin an energy for another energy, thinning towards a Bill's Analysis and also making our Aqua Patch live. But I don't think it's that worth it. I don't think it's super likely that he can Charizard us this turn. He can smooth over Instruct for a supporter more than likely. But even then, he's not guaranteed to have Energy Candy Zard. Or she, I should say. Yep, just the Cynthia. Let's see how kind that Cynthia is. Is there going to be a rare candy at the end of this turn? Candy KO would be the fear. Nest Ball is a lot less scary. There's a Ditto. Let's see what else our opponent wants to do this turn. Energy does go active. And just a pass. So fortunate for us. Also, we can actually pick up a Nest Ball here, which is exactly what we're looking for. We just want to establish Wooper at this point. We're going to Viridian, obviously tossing away our Celesaur here. That's not all that useful in this matchup. It means we can do 70 damage this turn. Now, do we actually want to do it on anything else? No, we just want to do this here. Yeah. More Ball Search sounds good to me. Establishing a second Wooper as they're likely going to be our best main attacker in this matchup, actually. Especially when the Celesaur is not available. Not the Celesaur, the Magikarp Whale. Let's just Cyclone this for 70. Throw our energies onto the back and protect it. We can knock out Charizard as long as they use Roaring Resolve with our Articunos, which is always good for us. They bounce our Viridian with a Heat Factory. Has great synergy with Smooth Over. They're going to retreat straight into a Charmander. See a switch as well. Are they lowering their hand size for a smooth Instruct, perhaps? Attached to the bench. And that's exactly what we are seeing here. I wonder if it will be for a candy combo card or if it's going to be just for another supporter. They're actually going to Lillie into this. They could have instructed straight into it. There's a rare candy though. And another nest ball on top of that. Not bad. Another Charmander. Sounds good to me. There is the Roaring Resolve. Procking. That's 8 energy so far. So we know the second Zeraora is in deck, and it's not super important for us to have a Zeraora this turn. Or this game even, because we're just going to go down the water route anyway. And as good as getting a Quagsire is, we need to have a backup Articuno to put our Cold Cyclone onto. We're just going to Lillie now for 3 cards. More energy attachments is always welcome. We can actually do this for this. I think we're getting rid of a Max Potion here. Just guarantee that Quagsire for some peace of mind. Also do this. It's always safe on our Quagsire. And we never want to put more than 2 energies on an Articuno because it's not protected in that regard. So we'll just do this. Hope to find a Magikarp whale for these prizes as soon as possible. At the moment, only keeping up with our opponent, but doesn't feel too bad. It feels like as soon as we hit our tanking Pokemon, we should be fine. Also, they're pressured to keep finding rare candy Zygarde. Even with this engine established, it can be awkward for them. We're holding on to the Guzma as well at the moment, just because she may not require Roaring Resolve this turn. And if that's the case, we'll have to Guzma for a knockout. Because we can't not keep up with the prize trade any more than we have whiffed so far. We see Smooth Instruct. He could go second Magcargo and end up being like a Gramble deck with how their board state looks. For now, they're just a Candy Zygarde. They can instruct again. Doing it pre-Roaring Resolve just because they have synergy with Heat Factory, and they would probably like to get a turn on an attachment this turn on this guy, just to stay out of Articuno range. We'll see if that's possible. If there's no Roaring Resolve, we're very happy with that outcome. We're going to see a Heat Factory though. Maybe the delay was them hoping that they could, or sort of debating if that was their only fire energy. But looks like there's another one coming. You see a Roaring Resolve on the bench, which gives us a pretty easy target to Gus next turn. I was thinking if the Magcargo was better, but now that there's this, especially because it could Guzma our Lele, it's definitely the thing we want to take out here. We'll do this, attach here where it's nice and safe. And we'll put them all onto Quagsire with the intention of washing them out if we have to. Just another Wooper from us off the prizes. No Magikarp Wailord just yet. One of these days it'll come to us. Our opponent's actually promoted a Guru here. So potentially they're going for a Guzma knockout on our Lele this turn. They are able to Guzma everything that's not a water type. That's the only thing they can go for. And when we see a Choice Band, I think that's a telltale sign that there's going to be a Guzma being played this turn. Let's see what they smooth overed into. Definitely a switch. Oh, wow. Switching Guzma just to get an extra instruct draw from this one, I guess. Chose to Roaring Resolve afterwards, so maybe they don't have the guaranteed energy. Possibly. And if that's the case, it's going to be really good for us. Wow. A miss. They may also be playing Shrine as well. That's a real possibility. So trying to dig for a max potion this turn will be huge. And we do get it. So we can... Yeah, they just concede. We can retreat that turn, knock out of Articuno, max potion as well. And then we get ahead in the trade. They didn't have means of getting another Charizard out because they had... Well, they probably could have, but it would have forced a lot out of them, even with Magcargo on board. I mean, Charizard should be a matchup that we're winning because we can just try and Articuno spam them. But always a little bit less comfortable when we can't use our plan A of just tanking stuff. Having to use our engine to see us through the whole game is always a little bit nerve-wracking. Obviously a big whiff from them as well. So we are forced into a Zygarde, active, but we do have Nest Balls and a Bills here. Let's fire off a couple of these Nest Balls. Looks like we're up against a Zapdos deck, and whenever you are up against Zapdos, you want to get double Wooper, especially when you don't have Articuno, because we need this engine if we're going to be doing anything. And obviously with no Articuno, we are unprotected. Ultra Ball Cynthia sounds like a good pick, because we could Ultra Ball away Water Energy and whatever we draw into next turn to try and find Zeraora to move out of the active. We'll just pass. So far we see a Jirachi. Could be Pikarom, could be Zapdos. We'll have to wait and see. So far we see a Zapdos. And one a Skateboard. We see a Lillie. One thing you have to be very careful of when we are playing against Zapdos and Pikarom, obviously, is that Tapu Koko GX can be a problem. So we have to not get too overzealous with attachments. Usually it's a slow grind with Celebi and Venusaur. That's the plan. Using Articuno early game is also very helpful. But here it looks like just a retreat into Zapdos and a Thunderous Assault straight out the gate. Okay. We're just going to bin off our top deck. Grab ourselves this Zeraora to move out the active. We definitely do not want to leave Zygarde out there being some easy prizes for the opponent. We'll play this. And we'll just play a Cynthia. Ideally, we find an Articuno. Ultra Ball works. I think we've got to get rid of a Guzma here. This is putting us a little bit thin on hand cards right now. But it's as ideal as we can get, really. We can wash out twice. We can max potion our Zygarde. No attachment this turn. But our hand, you know, we can't just get rid of the Bills here. It's all we got. Let's see how our opponent moves this Zapdos. Obviously, they have a large hand size. Articuno is weak to lightning, so it's slightly awkward if they go for Jolteon Electro Power or Zapdos Electro Power. Oh, it's Zapdos Lycanroc. This is a way that they can get around us. The Lycanroc part. We have 4 Pokemon benched. This is obviously weak to fighting. This is within range of a Lycanroc GX attack, which they can burst out of nowhere with Dance of the Ancients, so that's something you have to be very, very scared of. They also get an attachment in on Rockruff, which fears me even more. They're going to Guzma up Zygarde. Just hit us again. Okay. We draw a Unit Energy. So we're just going to Bills here. Max Potion, Cynthia, I think is the best thing we can really hope for here. And we got those. This is why Bills are so nice for the deck. It's like an immediate card and a card for next turn, just to keep us going. Seems pretty valuable to us. So we are going to do this, even though he could GX through us. We want this GX attack to get gone, because it's a very scary attack for us to be trifling with. Now, energies. Where do they go? I probably should have put this energy here and then just put the 2 on this guy. Now we're giving up a lot. Yeah, I definitely should have put the attachment here and Wooper for 2. Okay. We'll make it so that he has to GX through the Quagsire at the very least. If he GXs through Quagsire, it's a big GX attack gone. Big investment required. Or the alternative is him to have double Electro Power, Lycanroc, Zapdos. Which again is asking for a lot of pieces, with only 1 Jirachi down. So far. They're going to play their own Viridian Forest. Usually the Articuno is locked in pretty nicely against Zapdos. That's one thing we usually have going for us, but in this case, it's the Lycan build, which is much harder to deal with. They're going to Stretcher back Zapdos. And then Erica. Going to get them a big hand size. They could still get the goods they need with this Zapdos to knock out one of our back guys. There's an Electro Power. If we see 2, we're very scared, but just the 1 so far. That's very good news. Okay. So we'll go into Quagsire. It's got free retreat. Picking up a Guzma. Now then, we only have 1 rainbow, so we can't land Zerath through this Rockruff, which I would love to do. We're going to Forest away a Forest. Let's get this. We have 3 rainbows in here. At the very least, we're getting rid of this Forest, because we're not going to need them. We need the other one just for exactly Thunder Mountain. So I'll have to be careful about attachments, that's for sure. We're less scared about Zygarde getting knocked out by a Lycanroc. That's also for sure. So I think we take no target here. We're just going to evolve in Cynthia and hope to hit Rainbow Energy. We could even go for a Verdict GX if we want to. No energy at all really does suck for us. I think an Articuno will suffice in that case. Where do we want these energies? Okay. Let's think about it a little more this time. We want... the rainbow and the water to just come back. No, I should have done this one and this one No, it wouldn't have worked. We have to do it this way. Yeah. Now, their hand size is very intimidating, that's for sure. When they can actually get around with Lycanroc. Very intimidating. So that's what we're hoping to avoid. At the very least, we do have a Guzma if he doesn't get it. We're going to see Stellar Wish for a Nest Ball. That might be digging out more Jirachis. It might be getting more Rockruffs, depending on what they're trying to achieve this turn. You can see how Lycanroc hurts this deck a lot, though. One hit KO potential, awkward weakness for Zeraora, gets around Articuno. It's a triple threat for us. We really hate seeing that guy. I see a Buzzwole come down. Preparing for a Sledgehammer, potentially on our Zeraora, is also extremely scary. See another Electro Power. The attachment onto the Buzz. And just the Thunderous Assault. Well, fortunately for us, we can knock out this Rockruff with Articuno. We don't have to be worried about a Guzma Sledgehammer. So that's all looking groovy. We pick up a Rainbow Energy to boot as well. We actually have resistance, don't we? So this Rainbow Energy damage does matter. It matters on a Quagsire as well. 180, 170 with Shrine. We have. I guess he's not playing Shrine with this guy, so we'll put it here. We'll use the Guzma. We'll wash out. And we'll knock out this Rockruff. That's a big load off my mind. I was very scared of that coming in. Leveling up the prize trade, working towards more knockouts for one thing, and also working towards big energy swing turns with like a Celosaur that we haven't quite found just yet. I normally dislike going far over. Oh, of course he can still do this, Guzma. Whoops. I normally don't like going much further over 4 energy cards because of Tapu Koko GX. This turn we're going to have to Verdict. There's no other option. There's a Celosaur that I will put into play, I think. Articuno's not the perfect lock. He can still obviously Sledgehammer. He can still Guzma and Sledgehammer these guys because they're not water. Putting down another Zeraora is something that I'll hold off on for now. I think we're just going to get rid of this. Grab one of these and just play Lillie. 5th energy is scary because he could Guzma Koko GX this. So let's use the Verdict. 2 Max Potion gone so far. It's going to be an uphill battle. 2 Guzma, 2 Electro Power gone so far. Gonna see a rope. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay. See rope Guzma GX. Oh, poggers. Well played. That's pretty insane draws from them for only having one Jirachi in play the whole game. Erica did the bits. That Erica was really strong. Gave them a really nice hand size to work with. Normally you see lots more Stellar Wishing for combos like that to happen. We did give them the benefit of time though. That's rough. The Lycanroc did work. The Buzzwole did a lot of work. That's a big shame about Zeraora. Zeraora and Silvally, the two means of us getting free retreat on our guys, are both weak to fighting, which is a bit of a concern, with Buzzwole snooping around. It's really strange. Normally I go for Celesaur a lot in that matchup, and it just didn't come to us. We obviously led the Zygarde, Celesaur being much tankier. We just weren't able to, because we were using builds our first opening turns. Had to focus on that guy. That's a shame. Let's get into another game though. Going second. I guess we've got to promote this. This is kind of what I mean by Lillie. I mean, I know we've drawn into a lot of supporters here, but there's a lot of like combo pieces that we can't insta-play. There's not many top decks that will be insta-playable for us, and that's going to be a shame. Looks like we're up against another Lycanroc player. Yikes, dude. Our fun deck getting out-funned by Lycanroc. Is it going to be Zoroark? Are we going to get absolutely demolished? Yeah. That's right. Our busted combo gets wrecked by this busted combo over here. We'll try our best, but this is by far, from what I've tested, by far our most difficult matchup. Especially going second, it's even harder for us because he can start gusting Woopers out the gate. And that's going to be a problem. Also, they can muck our Thunderclap zone as well, by the way. Oh, busted. We have a Zygarde, a Celebi, and a Whale. We have a Lele. Stretches in here as well. Gonna need that for our Woopers, more than likely. No energy. No. Why? Why you do this to me? That's really rough. We really need attachments in order to win the game every turn. We need to Nest Ball. Articuno is pointless, really. So we'll grab this guy to try and put some fear into a Lycanroc. But no attachment really hurts this deck. Trying to catch up with Aqua Patches is fine, but an attachment a turn is definitely a big deal. Definitely a big deal. He could Claw Slash knock out the Zeraora this turn. And that won't be very fun. Here we see an Ultra Ball. Gonna see it get a Zoroark. They're gonna get Trade-In. Oh, Mallow. Well, that's a Lycanroc DC if I ever saw one. There it is. And a nice Claw Slash for a couple prize cards. No energy cards. Hurts us a little bit still. There they all are. Nothing but energy now. We've come unstuck, boys. Nothing but supporters in our opening hand, and nothing but energies from our Cynthia. The feels. We'll see a trade. DCE. Erica is not a Guzma, but they could still get a Lycanroc. Just a Claw Slash, okay. Support a top deck or Aqua Patch top deck? Nope. Yikes, bro. I've just realised we actually can't bench anything, can we? We'll die if we do. Yeah, we can't bench anything. Let's attach pass and hope for a better top deck. A Guzma or Lycanroc is almost inevitable this turn. I would imagine. They've got to draw pretty badly to whiff. Putting a rainbow on the Quagsire is also really awkward. Sets up a Lycanroc, and they can just Claw Slash for the knockout. I mean, they could just have Guzma beating anyway, but... There it is. And let's see if we can get a better top deck. Otherwise, we are out of here. Seems like a good idea. We'll do this. Supporter card? Not the one we're after. Okay, we're out of here. So, our hardest matchup and also dead draw. So it does highlight this deck to be very, very bad against that deck, for sure. But I mean, any deck that dead draws against Zoroark is going to look foolish, let's be honest. Yeah. Let's have one more game. The dream has not been quite the dream. Also, if you want to see more footage of this, you can check... the OmniPoke Twitter. No, I'm lying. On Twitch. I played it all on Monday for like 2 hours or so. It was good fun. Right, let's see what we can face this time and how it's going to go. We'll start the Zeraora. It's almost always part of our combo, whereas the Zygarde is not always part of our combo. We do get the benefit of going first. We also have Ultra Ball in hand, which is nice. Up against Zoroark, so this goes straight down. I think it's Ultra Ball for Lele here. Nope, I'm lying. We're going to be using Ultra Ball for Wooper and then using a Bills then, by the looks of things. Okay, that's fine. Bills isn't the worst fallback as long as we get a supporter, which we don't. Oh, crumbs. We've been here before. Let's pass. Rapscallion. Pretty sure we always Ultra Ball away that energy, with the assumption that we would Lele Lillie. It just ended up being real bad. Our opponent's going to Pokecom in an Absol for their own Lele. It's going to be Lillie, by the looks of things, for 4 cards, possibly more. Yep. There's a Forest, so at least we can draw. We can get an energy next turn. Ditto, sure. Second Pokecom coming down. Looks like they're going to develop some more basic Pokemon. Diance's going in. Wow. Diancie and Zoro. Not that common. They're just going to grab a Rockruff though. Our deck's arch enemy. They're going to attach them Forest to Forest. And it's over to us. That feels pretty reasonable. Let's see what we're going to get rid of here. I think it's actually a max potion that goes. We still have 2 more. We're hoping that we're not super dead. 1 on each Wooper. I think it might just be here and pass. Our only safe zone. Looks like they topped it to Nest Ball. They're going to go ahead and grab Riolu. Attaching and fighting on each of the bench is incredibly good for us. Incredibly good. Wait, are they bricking? Oh, the dream. Gonna do a greedy play here. Gonna try and knock out this Rockruff while he's bricking. Feels like it's certainly our best move. We take a prize. We take the biggest threat off his board. Trying to protect our energy cards. Looks like they've drawn a Lillie this time. Rockruff's back. That's a worry. They could also Viridian for another energy card if they want to. Looks like they have Ultra Ball for Zoro though. Gets rid of Ace and Lucario. Let's see what they're going to trade. Field Blower goes out the way. They could still do the Viridian play, obviously. It's like Pokemon for another Zoro. Yep. Lycanroc in. Now we actually get to see the Pokemon with this TCG update. Thank you very much. Previously we did not get the information. Now we do. They are going to trade. It's a Lele that goes this time. You see DC to the bench. And a pass. Okay. We're going to toss a water for a water. And Cynthia looking for hopefully Quagsire, which does come our way. I'm just going to bench the Celosaur, I think. It does open up GX knockouts with the Lycanroc, but he requires so much, including moving this Lele, which isn't easy for him, so. The only issue right now is that we have nothing but water energy cards. No special energy cards. As we see our opponent trading their way out of awkward hand once again. Let's see how far their hand can take them. Choice Band and a Judge. Okay. They can pay retreat if they Viridian and knock out Articuno. Just a pass though, which is pretty good for us. This always happens. One Choice Band committed, no Kukui just yet. This can go here. And I think we have the intention of Guzma and knocking out the Rockruff or the Ditto here. Probably just the Ditto. Oh, they actually just concede. Interesting. Well, it took Zoroark to dead draw for us to be okay against them. It took us a while to get into energy cards, but we could have knocked out a Rockruff there. They're still needing to get like counter gain shenanigans. We were building towards our loop there, I think. As you can see, we were accumulating a lot of attachments. That was our 5th for the turn. We could Guzma knock out a Ditto and would have been with this guy. They would have needed Kukui or Choice Band. No, they needed Kukui because they had to counter gain. Or they needed Choice Band multi-switch, or they needed Kukui counter gain to knock out the Celosaur with their Ditto becoming, or sorry, their remaining Rockruff becoming a Lycanroc. But outside of that, we were pretty safe, and we would have had Zeraora on board to do the max potion shenanigans, and we were already holding on to a Cynthia. So I do implore you to test out this deck yourselves. It's a lot of fun. We didn't really get to see the Omega loop happening at any point. Obviously, we faced 3 Lycanroc decks, which really makes us play very differently. Normally, we can be very content with our Articuno, building towards big combo pieces. Obviously, you have to be careful about your own Zeraora benching, your Celosaur benching, and Zygarde benching, because they are Guzma-able. But outside of that, it's a lot of fun to play this deck. If you want to see even more gameplay with the deck and the sort of creation about it, you can go and head over to my Twitch at Team OmniPoke, and it's going to be, 2 hours of footage for our most recent broadcast as well. So, yeah, hope you did enjoy this wacky video. It's been a lot of fun to come up with it and play it, and it's pretty... we know it's rogue, we know it's not top tier stuff, but it's always cool to get creative and try and bring back previously powerful archetypes. In Aromatisse, one of my favorites from way back when XY was still, fairly new. When Aromatoad first sort of started popping up, it was an awesome deck to play. So, homage to that deck, and it's also starring Quagsire, which I love and can't say no to. So, hope you did enjoy. Hope I brought something new to the table today. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. Hope you come back tomorrow for another video. Cheers.